Valley Park in the morning.
Yep.
According to Martha, Dalen mentioned he was going to climb the Haiku Stairs, also known to the locals as the Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven.
Consisting of over 3,900 steps that ascend the Kohulahu mountain range, the Stairway to Heaven was once a popular tourist hotspot until it was officially closed to the public in 1980 due to the dangerous conditions of the climb.
What the fuck? Then why is he trying to climb it? Why the fuck is he trying to climb it? What?
Still, many hikers over the decades continue to climb the legendary staircase for the thrill of the challenge.
It's not
uncommon for the...
These niggas are doing it for the love of the game! No! What are you doing?
Police and fire department have to rescue and arrest lost hikers who realized they bit off more than they could chew once they were at the top of the staircase. When Dalen told his grandmother about his plans, she warned him that it was illegal and tried to stop him, but he was determined to climb the Stairway to Heaven and didn't listen to his grandma. On the evening before the climb, he posted,
"This nigga is stupid. Your grandma tried to warn you, and you still went anyways. This nigga is stupid,
with the
bro.
caption,
This nigga is stupid.
Hiking this insane hike tomorrow. Wish you luck."
Wish you luck.
His friends quickly jumped into the comments to remind him that a recent mudslide had damaged an entire section of the staircase, making it even more dangerous to attempt the hike. But the very next morning, Dalen took a bus to Mauna Lua Valley Park and began the hike, documenting the start of his journey on Facebook with the caption, "And the hike begins. #Haiku." At the beginning of the hike, he sent some pictures of the mountain range to his friends. At around 11 a.m. that day, he sent this last image, after which he became unreachable on all communication channels.
What?
His friends tried to get in touch with him, but it soon became clear that something had gone wrong during the hike.
Yeah, no shit. What the fuck? What is he doing?
The next day, Dalen was reported missing, leading to a citywide search involving the Honolulu Police Department, the Fire Department, the U.S. Navy, several drone pilots, and local volunteers. From the moment the search began, the authorities suspected he had successfully climbed the Stairway to Heaven, but was unable to come down safely due to the treacherous conditions. On the first day of the search...
Hey, that looks real high. That looks real high. What the
fuck? It rained heavily over Honolulu, making the climb to the top...
That shit looks steep as fuck! Hey, that looks steep as fuck. I would know. What type of thought goes through your mind and you think, oh yeah, you know, I should climb this mountain, this steep ass mountain, but I have no way to get down. Like, bro, no. And this nigga said the conditions were worse? What the fuck?
After 4 days of looking for Dalen with dogs, helicopters, and infrared cameras, the search was called off. But later that very same day, 2 hikers who were climbing a nearby ridge claimed they heard someone screaming for help, and the fire department decided to extend the search another day. But on Tuesday, March 3rd, after days of fruitless investigation, the search was permanently suspended. Still, Dalen's friends and family continued to search the area, posting his pictures everywhere online, and even starting a GoFundMe campaign that raised over $15,000. After weeks with no convincing clues or even a trace of what happened to Dalen, several theories started circulating on the island. While many people claimed he probably fell down the side of the mountain on his way up, others speculated that something much more sinister had happened to Dalen while climbing the Stairway to Heaven. In the last image he sent to his friends,
there was somebody. Yeah, you can see somebody in that fucking photo. I was just about to mention that.
You can see the head of a man popping up behind the bushes next to the stairway. While the skeptics alleged that the figure was probably just a bunch of leaves and branches and a trick of the light, the Honolulu Police Department decided there was enough evidence in the image to issue an alert and request anyone from the public who had information on the mysterious man behind the bushes to come forward. It now appeared as if Dalen's disappearance had turned into a criminal investigation, with many people believing that the man in the bushes was a stalker who had seen the teenage hiker's Facebook posts and followed him up the mountain to attack him. Some Reddit users thought they recognized the guy, with one user mentioning that the guy in the picture was a good friend of his and that he had nothing to do with the disappearance. But when asked how he could recognize his friend in the image if the man's face was barely even visible, he didn't answer, and nobody's statements on the matter have been verified as true. Almost 9 years after his disappearance, the case of Dalen Pua remains a mystery.
They still haven't found the nigga? What? They still haven't found this nigga. Bro, he's cooked. He's cooked. What?
In 2021, the Honolulu City Council voted unanimously to remove the stairs, awarding a $2.5 million demolition contract to Nakoa Companies. The decision was pretty controversial, but in the end, it was decided that it was the best choice. Unfortunately, we'll still probably never know what happened to Dalen Pua on that day in February 2015.
That's sad, man.
Whether or not the man in his last photo had anything.
That shit is sad. What the fuck?
For a lot of these cases, I've always found it odd just how quickly searches get called off after dogs lose the scent of the person they're trying to track.
That's true. They just don't give a fuck. If the dogs can't follow it, they just be like, oh yeah, well, fuck it, you know? Like, no.
Luckily, this video's sponsor, Scentbird, gives you a way to stand out with how you smell. Scentbird is a subscription-based fragrance service that lets you choose a new designer fragrance every month. They have over 700 in your scent game today.
I'm not watching all that.
This story takes place in Sugar Land, an affluent suburb of Houston, Texas, and one of the safest cities in the U.S.
It's one of the safest cities in the U.S.? What? That's true?
December 10th, 2003, Ken and Trisha Whitaker went out to dinner at Papadu Seafood Kitchen to celebrate their son Thomas's graduation from Sam Houston State University. That night, Thomas, or Bart as his friends and family called him, got a $4,000 Rolex watch as a gift from his parents. Over dinner, the family laughed.
So he rich. Okay. He's rich.
Talked and teased each other like the happy family they appeared to be on the surface. At one point during the meal, Ken asked his wife and sons to get together for a picture. The image shows Trisha and her two sons, Kevin and Thomas, smiling for the camera, and at first glance, everything seems pretty much perfect. Just after 8 p.m., the Whitaker family left the restaurant and headed back home. As they walked up the steps to their house, Bart stayed back to get something from his car, and his dad waited for him. As soon as Kevin opened the door, a man in a ski mask held up a gun and opened fire on the family. Within a few seconds...
What? No introduction, no nothing. He just opened up the door and bro just let loose. What?
A man in a ski mask held up a gun and opened fire on the family. Within a few seconds, Kevin, Trisha, Kent, and Bart were lying on the floor with gunshot wounds. As soon as the shots rang out, a neighbor called 911, and even though he was injured, Bart did the same as the attacker ran out the back door.
What?
When the responding officers arrived, they found 19-year-old Kevin Whitaker dead on the floor.
No!
Trisha was immediately airlifted to the hospital, but sadly didn't survive. Miraculously, Kent survived a gunshot wound to the chest, while Bart got away with a single bullet wound to the arm. Initially, the authorities called the crime a burglary gone wrong. Suspiciously, the alleged burglar left behind the gun used to commit the crime, but the palm print on the gun didn't yield any useful information. As it was later revealed, the gun had been taken from the Whitaker family's upstairs gun safe, which made it clear that whoever committed the gruesome crime knew the layout of the house before entering. The detectives on the case soon realized that this was no ordinary burglary, as no valuables had been stolen, and the family's drawers and closets seemed to have been neatly pulled out by someone who had been a little too careful not to destroy anything.
What?
The day after the murders, detectives discovered that Bart was hiding something from his parents. Not only had he not graduated from university, but he was actually a freshman on probation for not attending his classes and had a 1.4 GPA.
Oh! Oh! No! Why would you lie to your parents? Nigga, they died thinking that he graduated, bro. No. They died thinking that he graduated. Nigga.
About a week after the horrifying incident, Kent and Bart went to Kevin and Trisha's funeral, which was attended by over 1,000 Sugar Land residents who had never even heard of such a brutal crime being committed in their city. Several law enforcement officers were at the funeral, not so much to mourn the victims, but rather to watch Bart Whitaker closely. The night before the funeral, a former roommate of Bart named Adam Hipp had gone to the police station and made a shocking revelation. According to the police report, Adam mentioned to the cops that one day in 2001, Bart had approached him and told him about an elaborate plan to murder his family in order to inherit their house and about $1 million in life insurance money. Adam claimed that Bart had even offered him a cut of the inheritance money if he agreed to kill his family, frame a burglary gone wrong, and shoot him in the arm in the process to make it look more believable. The more details Adam revealed about the chilling conversation, the more the cops realized that the plan Bart had talked about with his roommate was eerily similar to the events that took place on that fateful night in December 2003. During Adam's interrogation, the name of 2 more of Bart's college friends were brought up, Chris Brashear and Stephen Champagne. Chris and Stephen worked at the same country club as Bart, and when the cops tested their DNA and sent samples, they found a perfect match for what was found at the crime scene. As the detectives closed in on the suspects, Bart realized he was in trouble. One night, about 7 months after the murders, he told his father he was going out to the club, and he never came back. The authorities looked everywhere for him, but it seemed he had just disappeared without a trace. With Bart nowhere to be found, the cops focused their efforts on Chris and Stephen. Eventually, Stephen cracked under the pressure of the interrogation and admitted that he had been the getaway driver on the night of the crime. Chris had been the gunman, and Bart had orchestrated the entire thing.
What?
Stephen even led the police to a bag that had been thrown off of a bridge into Conroe Lake, which contained pretty damning physical evidence, including 2-way radios, water bottles, and ammunition that matched the shell casings at the scene. Almost 2 years after the murder, Stephen and Chris were arrested, but Bart was still nowhere to be found.
What?
Unbeknownst to the police, Bart had started a completely new life in Mexico.
Nigga!
A small apartment, a job in a furniture store, and even a girlfriend. Disturbingly, it was later revealed that Bart had lied to his girlfriend's family and spun a very convincing tale about his past, alleging that he had gotten shot in the shoulder while serving in Afghanistan. A year and a half after the murders, a man named Rudy Rios called the cops and confessed that about a year earlier, Bart paid him $3,000 to let him assume Rios' identity and flee to Mexico. In September 2005, Bart was arrested in Mexico, extradited, and charged with the murder of his mother and brother. As it was later discovered, he tried to carry out the plan on several occasions with other roommates and friends, but something always seemed to get in the way. In an interview with ABC News, Bart claimed that when he was planning the killings, he was operating on autopilot and about as close to numb as a human being can get.
Nigga,
After the
what?
trial, Bart was sentenced to death, a decision his father lobbied against for years. Kent claimed that having his son executed would only make him a victim once again, and that he had suffered enough.
Nigga, shut up,
February
bro.
2018, just 40 minutes before Bart's scheduled execution by lethal injection, the governor decided to spare his life.
What?
As of 2024, Bart is still in prison, where he will remain for the rest of his life.
Nigga.
Miraculously, Ken has forgiven his son and went on to remarry and even write a book about his experience called Murder by Family: The Incredible True Story of a Son's Treachery and a Father's Forgiveness. For many people, the most haunting aspect of this whole case is the fact that in this last picture of the apparently happy family together at dinner, Bart knew very well that if everything went according to plan, his entire family around him would be dead less than half an hour later.
That's cold, bro.